Gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that may shock you. The supplement most men over 60 are faithfully swallowing every night, magnesium, will not bring back your erections. You could take it for 100 nights straight, and you would still wake up softer, weaker, and more frustrated than before. That bottle on your nightstand is not the answer. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men reclaim their vitality, their strength, and yes, their manhood. I've treated thousands of patients across America, men who believed their best days were long behind them, only to watch them come alive again when they finally understood the real science of repair. Here's the paradox. Magnesium, the very mineral you've been told would support your health, does almost nothing for your erections. The truth is, your body has been quietly waiting for something else, something far more powerful than a pill. And it doesn't come from a bottle, it comes from two simple fruits that have been overlooked for far too long. When eaten at the right time, before bed, these fruits unlock the body's natural nighttime repair system, restoring blood flow, boosting testosterone, and reviving your erections while you sleep. Imagine waking up at 70, 80, even 85, with firmness and confidence you thought you had lost forever. Stay with me, because in the minutes ahead, I will reveal exactly which two fruits you must eat, how to use them, and the 3 common mistakes that quietly sabotage your progress. What I am about to share could change the way you look at every night for the rest of your life. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health lesson designed especially for you. And do me a quick favor, if you truly want to bring back your strength and erections, type 1 in the comments. If you feel I can improve, type 0 so I know how to serve you better. Gentlemen, now that you know magnesium is not the answer, let's begin with the real foundation of revival. The truth is, your penis, like every muscle in your body, does most of its repair work at night. This forgotten secret of nighttime repair is where everything truly begins. 1. The forgotten secret of nighttime repair. Gentlemen, this may surprise you, but the true foundation of your erections has very little to do with what you do during the day. You can eat healthy meals, lift weights, take supplements, and try every pill on the shelf. But if your body is not repairing itself properly at night, all of that effort will still leave you waking up frustrated. The real secret lies in what happens when you close your eyes and drift into deep sleep. Between the hours of 11 at night and 3 in the morning, your body enters its most powerful phase of recovery. Blood vessels expand, hormones surge, and tissues quietly rebuild themselves after the strain of the day. This is when your manhood is meant to restore its strength. The smooth muscle fibers in your penis, the very structures that trap blood and keep you firm, are designed to be repaired and reinforced during these precious nighttime hours. I cannot tell you how many men have sat across from me, looking discouraged, saying, "Doctor, I'm doing everything right. Why isn't it working?" And after running a few simple tests, the answer became clear. Their bodies were simply not taking advantage of the natural repair window that every man still carries within him, no matter his age. I remember one gentleman in his late 70s who believed his best years were gone forever. But when we focused on giving his body the right support at night, within just weeks, his morning erections began to return. The look in his eyes when he told me, "Doctor, I finally feel like myself again," reminded me why I chose this work in the first place. And this is why I say to you with confidence, it is not too late. Your body still holds the blueprint for renewal, but you must learn how to fuel it properly before bed. Because while most men are wasting time and money on magnesium, the truth is that a very different kind of support is needed to unlock this nightly healing. And that brings us to the surprising reason why magnesium, despite all the hype, so often fails men like you. 2. Why magnesium fails. For years, men have been told that magnesium is the magic answer to better health, stronger muscles, and deeper sleep. I have seen patients proudly walk into my office with a bottle of magnesium in their hand, convinced it would bring back their erections. They looked at me with hope in their eyes, and I wished I could tell them it was true. But the reality is far less comforting. Magnesium may help you feel calm at the end of the day, and yes, it can relax your muscles. But when it comes to your erections, it does almost nothing. Erections are not about relaxation alone. They are about powerful blood flow, surging testosterone, and the strength of smooth muscle fibers that trap blood inside the penis. Magnesium simply does not ignite testosterone, it does not rebuild those fibers, and it does not fuel the repair your manhood desperately needs at night. I remember one man in his early 80s who had been swallowing magnesium every evening for years. He told me, "Doctor, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought this would keep me strong." Yet his testosterone was flat, his zinc levels were almost non-existent, and his vitamin D was dangerously low. No wonder he felt weak and frustrated. Once we replaced magnesium with the right nutrients, within weeks his body began to respond. He came back to my office with a smile and said, "Doctor, I thought I was too old. Turns out, I was just taking the wrong thing." That moment has stayed with me because it shows how easily men are misled by popular trends, when in truth, their bodies are craving something completely different. So let me say it clearly. Magnesium is not dangerous, but it is not the miracle you have been promised either. If you are serious about reviving your erections, you cannot waste your precious nighttime repair window on something that will never deliver. Because the real solution does not come from a mineral that calms you. It comes from foods that activate and ignite your body's deepest repair systems. And that is exactly where our first fruit, the Sunshine Activator, comes in. 3. Fruit number 1. The Sunshine Activator. The first fruit I want to share with you is one that most men overlook, even though it sits right in front of them. It is the simple orange, or any citrus fruit. And while people often think of it as nothing more than a source of vitamin C, its real power lies in how it supports vitamin D, the very nutrient your body relies on to activate its nighttime repair system. When you drift into deep sleep, vitamin D unlocks receptors inside your penile tissue, almost like a key turning in a lock, allowing calcium and phosphorus to strengthen the smooth muscle fibers that hold blood in place. Without this process, blood slips away too quickly, leaving you soft and discouraged. Citrus fruit in the evening does something special. It helps your body absorb and utilize vitamin D more efficiently, giving it the fuel it needs to rebuild your manhood while you sleep. I remember a gentleman in his 70s who came to me with critically low vitamin D levels. He told me he hadn't had a strong erection in years. We added vitamin D at night, paired with citrus fruit at dinner, and within just a few months, his blood tests showed higher testosterone, his morning erections began to return, and he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm 20 years younger." That is the power of aligning your nutrition with your body's deepest hours of repair. As men age, the skin's ability to make vitamin D from sunlight declines, and food alone rarely provides enough. That's why eating citrus with your evening meal can make the difference between failure and fulfillment. It is not about how hard you try during the day. It is about what your body has available to use at night. And while citrus helps unlock the potential of vitamin D, there is another fruit even more powerful, one that fuels the very spark of testosterone itself. Let me introduce you to the zinc igniter. 4. Fruit number 2. The zinc igniter. The second fruit, and perhaps the most powerful of all for your manhood, is the pomegranate. At first glance, it may look like nothing more than a beautiful red fruit filled with tiny seeds, but inside those seeds lies a mineral that older men desperately need: zinc. Zinc is the ignition switch for testosterone, the very hormone that gives you strength, energy, and the ability to have a firm erection. Without zinc, your body simply cannot fire up its repair system. It is like trying to start a car without turning the key. You can have fuel, you can have the engine, but nothing will move forward. I recall a retired school teacher in his late 60s who came to me utterly discouraged. He had been eating healthy, exercising faithfully, even following my advice on vitamin D, but he still felt flat. His energy was gone, his desire had faded, and his mornings felt lifeless. When we tested his blood, the problem became clear. His zinc levels were far too low. I encouraged him to add pomegranate into his evening routine, and within weeks the change was remarkable. His eyes lit up as he told me, "Doctor, I haven't felt this alive in 20 years." That kind of transformation is not just about biology, it is about dignity, about regaining a sense of self that so many men fear they have lost forever. Nearly 40% of older men are zinc deficient, and most don't even realize it. Food alone often cannot provide enough, but pomegranate stands out as one of nature's richest and most delicious sources. Eating a serving at night gives your body what it needs exactly when it is most prepared to use it, during deep sleep, when testosterone production naturally peaks. That is why pomegranate is more than a fruit. It is a lifeline for restoring manhood. But even with vitamin D and zinc on your side, there are still hidden traps at night that can quietly sabotage your progress, and that is what we must uncover next. 5. The 3 nighttime mistakes. Gentlemen, even if you give your body the right fuel with citrus and pomegranate, there are still ways you can unknowingly sabotage yourself. I have seen this time and again with patients who were doing almost everything right, but one simple mistake in the evening erased all their progress. The first culprit is the B-complex family of vitamins. These are wonderful in the morning because they give you energy, sharpen your focus, and support your nervous system. But when taken at night, they do the exact opposite of what your body needs. Instead of letting you sink into the deep stages of sleep where repair and testosterone production take place, they keep your brain alert and your nervous system active. I will never forget one man in his 70s who had been exercising faithfully, eating well, and still couldn't understand why his erections weren't returning. When I asked him about his supplements, he proudly told me he was taking his B-complex after dinner. Once he switched to mornings, his sleep deepened and his nighttime repair finally began to work again. The second mistake is vitamin C at the wrong time. Now don't get me wrong, vitamin C is a fantastic nutrient, but when you take it at night, it actually interferes with the mild oxidative stress your body needs to signal tissue repair. One of my patients told me he couldn't stop tossing and turning after his evening vitamin C, and his erections remained weak. When he moved his dose earlier in the day, his rest improved, and so did his strength. The third and perhaps most damaging mistake is hidden caffeine. Many men know not to drink coffee in the evening, but few realize caffeine lurks in teas, chocolates, and so-called energy blends. Caffeine raises cortisol, the stress hormone that directly shuts down testosterone production, and it cuts short the very deep sleep cycles your manhood depends on. Avoiding these 3 nighttime traps is just as important as adding the right fruits. But understanding what not to do is only half the story. To truly grasp why this matters, we must go beyond science and talk about something far deeper: the emotional truth of what losing and regaining your erections really means for a man over 60. 6. The emotional truth. When a man loses his erections, it is never just about his body. It touches something far deeper, something inside his heart and spirit. Over the years, I have sat with countless men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, men who lowered their voices and admitted to me that they no longer felt like themselves. Some told me they avoided intimacy with their wives out of shame. Others confessed that they felt less of a man because they couldn't respond the way they once did. These moments stay with me because I see the pain in their eyes and hear the weight in their voices. It is not simply about sex. It is about dignity, closeness, and the sense of being alive. I remember one gentleman in his early 80s who came to me looking defeated. He said, "Doctor, I don't even hold my wife's hand at night anymore. I feel like I've failed her." Those words cut deeply because they revealed how loss of function can turn into loss of connection. But what happened next was remarkable. We focused on repairing his body at night, giving him the right nutrients, and guiding him to avoid the mistakes that had been holding him back. A few months later, he returned to my office with a smile that stretched from ear to ear. He told me, "Doctor, last night we held each other again, and for the first time in years, I felt like her husband." That was not just a medical victory, it was a human one. Gentlemen, your erections are more than a physical act. They are tied to your confidence, your independence, your very identity as a man. And the good news is that it is not too late to reclaim them. Your body still remembers how to repair and restore itself, no matter your age, if you simply give it the right conditions. But knowing the truth is only half the journey. The question that remains is what you can do tonight, step by step, to put this knowledge into action. That is exactly what I will share with you next. 7. Action plan for tonight. Gentlemen, let me lay out a simple plan you can begin this very evening. one that I have seen transform the lives of men in their 60s, 70s, and even well into their 80s. The first step is to put away that bottle of magnesium. It may calm your muscles, but it will not bring back your erections. Instead, with your evening meal, include a serving of citrus, an orange, a grapefruit, or even a few slices of lemon, and pair it with 2,000 to 4,000 international units of vitamin D3. The healthy fats in your dinner, from foods like salmon, olive oil, or avocado, will help your body absorb and use that vitamin D, allowing it to go to work while you sleep. 2 hours before bed, I recommend you add a serving of pomegranate. It can be the seeds, a small glass of pure juice, or the fruit itself. Pomegranate delivers zinc in a natural, bioavailable form, giving your body the very spark it needs to produce testosterone during deep sleep. Take it with a full glass of water and let it become part of your evening ritual. I have watched men who thought they were too old for change wake up within weeks with stronger morning erections, more energy, and a renewed sense of confidence. At the same time, avoid the traps that steal your progress. No B-complex vitamins after dinner, no late-night vitamin C, and certainly no hidden caffeine in teas or supplements. These small mistakes can undo the work your body is trying to accomplish while you rest. Instead, make your evening sacred. Set aside 7 to 8 hours for uninterrupted sleep, let your body heal, and trust the process of repair that nature has already written into your DNA. This plan is not complicated, and it does not require expensive drugs or risky procedures. It is about giving your body the right fuel at the right time. Start tonight, and every night becomes another opportunity to rebuild your strength. But as powerful as this plan is, there is one final truth you need to hear. A truth that goes beyond science and speaks to why reclaiming your erections can transform not only your body, but your entire life. Conclusion: strong close. Gentlemen, we have walked this journey together, and now you see the truth clearly. Magnesium, though popular,